This week on the Analog Circle podcast, Sony has acquired HouseMarque. Oh, we gotta talk about that one. Microsoft is adding cloud gaming to Xbox One, and the expectations and things that can happen with this are pretty astounding. We could see more Nintendo mini consoles in the future, and Grand Theft Auto 6 won't release until 2025. What? All of these stories can be found here and quite a few more in episode 181 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and I've been away, ladies and gentlemen, for quite some time. I have been gone, but I'm back. Now, before we get started into the show, I definitely have to do a few shout outs. I have to shout out Cody Clark. This brother has been unbelievable. The generosity of this man. He has gifted me 3 months of Game Pass, and what a time to have the service, with the Ascent coming out later on this month, along with several other games that are pretty big titles. So shout out to you, brother. I truly appreciate it. I never take it for granted, and thank you, man, for once again, the unbelievable generosity. I also want to give a shout out to Lawrence Jones. Lawrence Jones, brother, thank you, man. You have been posting continuously in the Analog Circle Facebook group. I don't take that for granted, brother. It's hard work coming up and finding these different stories to post about, and you do it on a consistent basis. So I just want to say thank you for all of the hard work and all of the consistency. This brother's been way more consistent than myself. So I gotta shout you out, man, and just say thank you again. Also, I wanted to shout out One Subset Tekken, Sir William X, Vaughn, and Crimson Phoenix for sending me the emails and the voicemails in the feedback section, man. We are definitely going to be going over those very, very soon. And I just want to say thank y'all for continuing to send the emails, man. It truly means so much to me. Thank you, good brothers. Now, with that being said, guys, as usual, as normal, I am under the gun. Gotta be to work in about it's 4 o'clock. I gotta be to work in 5 hours, man. So yeah, nothing has changed. It's just not even the holiday season. It's the summer months. Things are just not out of control, but it's a lot more going on at the job than normally in like the winter, in the cooler months. So, I mean, you guys don't need to hear about all of that, because that's not what we're here for. We are here to talk about the gaming news. Now, before we get into the gaming news, I want to let you guys know that if you enjoy what goes on over here at the Analog Circle podcast, if you could find the time to go over to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, of your thoughts of the show and how you view the show, it would be greatly appreciated. So, guys, I think I have, said enough. So I think it is time to get into, like I said, what we all come here for. And that is the gaming news that went down. So, man, I am so behind the 8 ball. Some of these stories are going to be newer. Some of them are going to be old, but we going to get through it, God dog, and we going to get through it. So let's get started. I want to get things started, and I'm going way back here, but I have to go back to E3 because I didn't record post E3. But, I actually got this from Digital Trends, but I want to start off with, a game that came way of Nintendo. Now, they showed off Metroid Dread, which is releasing October 8th, 2021, and to top it off, they took Metroid back to its essence and made it a 2D side scroller where Samus will be exploring the unseen world of planet Zeta. I guess that's how you pronounce it. It's spelled ZDR, Zeta. And this is coming to the Switch exclusively. And for the first time in 19 years, the game is once again a 2D side scroller. When I saw this on Nintendo's E3 virtual stage during that show, as it were, I was completely blown away and off guard. I couldn't believe it. For so many years, I have been asking Nintendo, please, forget the 3D Prime franchise. I want you to go back to the side scroller, to the 2D Metroid. And they did it. Man, this game looks good. I mean, this thing looks like it could be possibly, don't quote me, but it looks like it could be running at 60 frames per second. This thing looks buttery smooth. So I am so excited. Like I said, this came out of nowhere, no leaks, no lead up, no nothing. It was just there at the show. Metroid Dread, I think they were saying, and y'all know my memory is shot, I got a terrible memory, but I think they said that this was already being worked on years ago. They couldn't get it done. It didn't come to fruition. So then again, later on down the line, they jumped back into the pool of it and they came out with Metroid Dread. Good grief. How many of y'all are looking forward to this? This was one of the best games I saw during E3 week because it was so out of nowhere. I thought we were going to get something Metroid Prime related, but they completely threw me off. With a 2D Samus, she got a white suit on, no longer the yellowish orange looking suit. Man, Samus looking clean out here. I am really, really hyped up to get this on October 8th. It's coming out this year, which was another unbelievable moment for me. So Nintendo, I thought they did a great job at their E3 conference. I thought they did what they needed to do for their fan base. No, I'm not excited for every game that's coming out, but Metroid Dread, that did it for me. My goodness, I'm so excited about this, but I want to go ahead and move on for the sake of time. But this one right here, I don't know. Do y'all think this could get a game of the year? No, we're gonna have to see, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go ahead and move on into the next story. So in quick news, the once Xbox Series X exclusive, The Medium, is coming to PS5 on September 3rd. Now, the interesting thing about this is, during the time when this game was on the Xbox Series X exclusively, people wanted to hit at it, say it wasn't that great. It was running sub 30 frames per second. How is this possible? Why is it running at that frame rate? I'm going to be interested to see how it fares when it comes to the PlayStation 5. I am interested in the performance. Is it going to have the same performance, or will it perform slightly better? Only time will tell, but again, September 3rd, this game will be released, and I got this story from Kotaku. Let's go ahead and move on into some more gaming news. So this story comes from 9 to 5 Toys. So in an unbelievable turn of events that I didn't expect, Turtle Beach has made the quote Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight system, end of quote, which is compatible with Flight Simulator and not only compatible with PC, but also the Series X and S. So what are some of the features of this controller? Well, there is a built-in flight management display that's full color with dedicated controls, so that way you can learn and configure the system on the fly for Flight Simulator 2020. Now, you can switch between different profiles for different aircrafts. And it also features a true-to-life 180-degree yoke handle that has built-in rudder controls, so you can command any aircraft with precision. Now, it also has a modular throttle, quad ramp with an integrated trim wheel, lever, and vernier controls. And I don't even know what all of this stuff means, but it sounds great. And it also has a swappable lever handle so that you can customize the experience. Now, good grief, I had said I had no aspirations of being a pilot. It was never a dream of mine when this game was first shown that it was coming to Xbox. I said, what are you doing, Microsoft? What is this? Who asked for this? I got to tell y'all, after seeing how amazingly beautiful this game looks, I said, good grief, I might have to take this for a spin. And thanks to Cody Clark, I will be able to download this for free. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, man. I'm sweating right now. But I'm telling you, just the fact, because I was saying what would make this so nice and cool on the console would be, man, give people the option to get a flight stick, really bring the experience home of being a pilot. And this thing looks legit. I mean, it had this moving knob or whatever you see when you're in the pilot cockpit. It's this dial that rolls, backwards or whatever. That thing is doing the same thing on this controller. I mean, it has actual lights. This thing looks really, really legit. Now, with that being said, hoo-wee, you might be saying, well, good grief, if it seems that legit, how much is this thing going to cost? Well, brothers and sisters, let me wipe my brow because I'm sweating. I'm going to tell you, this is going to cost, just as much as an Xbox Series S. This is going to be $349.99, and it's going to release in late July. Now, with all of those features, the one feature that I would have hoped that this controller would have had, it doesn't. It does not have any feedback, no force feedback. So that is the only, seems like, and that's a pretty big feature to be left out, but you won't get that rumble in the controller. Which is unfortunate, because for $350, that's a lot of money. My goodness, but I'm telling y'all, look this thing up. This thing really, really looks legit, man. Once again, it is called the Turtle Beach. Where's the name of it? I lost it. Yeah, the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight system. This thing looks really, really cool. And just the fact that, once again, like I was saying, that they're giving you the option of having this on the Xbox Series X or the S, really bringing that pilot feel to the console. That is pretty big. That is awesome. So for anybody that is a flight, a flight enthusiast, or you fly drones or the actual airplanes, the remote controlled airplanes, you really want to get into the essence of what Flight Simulator 2020 is, then man, you got to get one of these for $350. Good gosh, that's a lot of money. We're going to go ahead and move on into the next story, but I guess they say you get what you pay for. This thing looks real legit. But this next story is coming way to us from Gaming Bible. That's where I got it from. So, in an interesting piece of info, came out this week about Starfield. Well, it wasn't this week. My goodness, we about 2 weeks ago when I wrote this. So, this is probably old news to y'all. But like I said, we going to work our way up into the more present gaming news. But, they were talking about Starfield. So come to find out, the cinematic launch trailer they showed at E3 was actually in-game footage. Now, this was confirmed by Bethesda senior lighting artist Keith, man, oh man, I'm going to butcher this brother's last name, Beltramini. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's spelled B-E-L-T, that's Belt, R-A-M, that's Ram, I-N-I, I-N-E, Beltarani. I guess Romney. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, he said, and I quote, "Using our own creation engine 2, we created this entirely in-game without any cinematic tools. Working closely with director Esteban Pelli, I assisted in art direction for anything lighting and mood related." End of quote. So I know we were bummed out about Starfield not actually giving us real gameplay, something that was tangible, something that we could see, even understanding more of what the plot of this game is. But the simple fact that, and I know this is a bit of a cheat, but it looks like the game could essentially look like the trailer did in real time, because he said they did not have to do anything with the cinematic tools. Oh, brother, the doggone tools. He said that this was in-game footage. So I'm gonna tell you, that trailer, man, that trailer looked really good, very promising. I don't know what the game is about. I have no idea. None of us do. But man, the graphics, if that is exactly how the game is gonna look in real time, now that's what you call next generation. That's pushing the Xbox Series X a little bit. I mean, good grief, and that has been our biggest gripe with the Xbox Series X, is we have not seen a graphical showpiece yet that shows off what this machine is capable of doing. And if this, once again, is to be believed from, what is his name again? I want to tell y'all his name again, Keith Beltramini. If he is to be believed, then this was all in real time footage of what the game is going to look like. Man, this could be a winner. It definitely could be. I'm not the biggest, and I have to be honest with y'all, I'm not the biggest, most huge supporter of Bethesda games. I'm not out there like, oh man, Elder Scrolls 6, I can't wait. The new Fallout, I can't wait. No, not at all. Not at all, brothers. I'm more so into Wolfenstein. I love Wolfenstein. I've gotten into what is the other game? Dishonored. Dishonored is actually a pretty doggone good game. But I would be up for Starfield to see what that's about. So, with that being said, it's not too much more to say about this, but just know that that was all allegedly in-game footage of what the game is actually going to look like. Let's go ahead and let's get into the next story. So in more news, and I got this from Eurogamer, by the way, shout out to y'all, but EA Motive is allegedly working on the revival of an established IP, according to Jeff Grubb, who said, quote, "We're going to see it if we're not dead first," end of quote, which has led some to believe that he is hinting at Dead Space 4 or just the Dead Space franchise in general. Now, this is the thing. It has been an update to this because today I was looking around and I believe this came from GamesBeat, where I got this news from. It did. Once again, Jeff Grubb, he actually said now it's being reported that it's a full-fledged remake of the game. Now, what's interesting was I was wondering, well, is this going to be a remake of all three? Or are they going to take it game by game? And it looks like that's what's going to happen. It's being reported that they are going to be taking the first game and remaking it. Now, once again, this has not been confirmed by EA, by EA Motive. Nobody on that team has come out and said this is exactly what's happening, but this is the rumors that are circling around. But either way, the good thing about this is that we will not have to wait long, because on July 22nd, that is when EA Play will be taking place. And I have to say, I missed out on Dead Space 1. I missed out on Dead Space 2. I came in on the tail end with Dead Space 3. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I know many people did not like the third Dead Space. And I got to say, good gosh, that was like one of the best games during that time frame. What was that, 2013? Maybe when that came, maybe not 2013, maybe 2011, 2012. I can't remember when the third Dead Space came out. But when I played it, I had the most fun with that game. I loved it. Graphically, it looked good. I thought the story was okay. Nothing mind-blowing, anything like that. A decent story, but the gameplay was so good. And I actually got a couple of jump scares. That game actually gave me a couple of jump scares while I was playing it. So I was hyped. Now, if 1 and 2 are better than 3, I can't wait to possibly go back and play the first one. If it's that much better than the third one, I am really looking forward to this. And this has to bring into question, once again, this is all allegedly. Nothing has been reported by EA. But if this is the case, this makes me wonder, where is this going to leave the spin? Well, it's not a spinoff, but it was the supposed to be the spiritual successor to Dead Space. I think it was Callisto Protocol. I think it was. I think that's what it was supposed to be. Is this going to leave that in a bit of a different kind of space, knowing that they're doing a remake of the first one and possibly the second and the third one, and then maybe moving on to a brand new Dead Space 4? And I'm sure that with the success of Mass Effect, the remake or the remaster of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 doing so well, I'm sure it did well. I have no numbers to report, but I'm sure it did pretty well. They said, well, good grief, maybe we should do the same thing with Dead Space. That's a dormant franchise. People have been asking for it. Let's go ahead out there. Let's just throw the first one out there and let's see how it does. They kind of were saying that EA Motive might have gotten a little bit of motivation from seeing how well Resident Evil 2 remake actually did. So if you're going to give a full-fledged remake of Dead Space on brand new hardware, oh man, that could be something. It could be amazing. And I'm glad that they're going the remake route and not just a remaster. Remake, you're starting from the ground up. And who knows? What if this comes out early next year? Anyway, I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to jump too far over the line. But that's the rumor right now, that this game is being worked on, the first Dead Space, and it is going to be a remake. We will have to wait and see. Not long. July 22nd is when the show is taking place, and hopefully, it would be so awesome if they showed off some real-time gameplay, but we will have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and let's move on into the next story. Now, I got this story from NET So let's talk about Ghost of Tsushima. Man, a lot of news has come out about Ghost of Tsushima. Well, we're going to cover just a little bit of it because a new retail box has removed the only on PlayStation branding, which is leading to speculation that it could be coming to PC. Now, after all, the same thing happened with Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone when they got ported over to PC. But it is, before we jump the gun, it is worth noting that Sony haven't been using that branding when a game like Spider-Man Miles Morales has released on both PS4 and PS5. So we'll see. And plus, we got to think about it. Sony just picked up a new studio, a PC studio. What's it, Nexus? I think it is Nexus. And they are known for porting PC games over from the console space. So with them actually putting a whole new development team on their back, which is known for this makes me wonder, is this that much more true? And does this mean, does this mean that we might get to the point where Sony's games are coming to PC day and date? I mean, you think about it. I don't think it's far-fetched, because if you're going to put a developer in your stable where this is their stronghold, this is what they do, then it would only make sense that you would put them on the PC port. That way you don't have to take away any resources from any of the teams that are working on the game, getting it over to the PlayStation 5, getting it released, and having it be at its highest level of quality. You wouldn't have to have two teams being split, one working on the PC version, one working on the console version. You could have both parties, both split, dedicating all resources to one or the other. We'll have to see. Now, I know Ghost of Tsushima, they were talking about it's a director's cut that's coming up, and the pricing is all over the place. I didn't get into that. I absolutely did not, so I couldn't tell you what's what. But I am hearing that some people are a little upset. Yeah, they're a little in their feelings about PlayStation actually making it more expensive than they think it should be. And of course, people are gonna complain. I mean, some complaints are worthy of complaining about. Some complaints, people just want to complain for the sake of complaining. Me, hey, listen, man, I have heard, according to people, really just on the internet, that Ghost of Tsushima looks pretty doggone amazing on the PlayStation 5 as it is. I mean, the frame rate seems good. The graphics look amazing. I don't know if this is necessary, but it was a report that was saying that this may not be the last director's cut. Matter of fact, golly, of course it isn't going to be the last director's cut, because Death Stranding is getting a director's cut. Oh, man. No. I still have not been able to get into that game. Kojima. Good grief. That's supposed to be coming sometime in the future. I mean, the main character, he was hiding in the box like he was Snake, and everybody trying to pick it apart, trying to figure out the meaning. I just said that joker hiding in a box. I don't know. I just don't have I don't have the brain capacity to try to figure out and poke through what the world Kojima's trying to say. I need somebody to tell me. But, you know what? Oh, man, speaking of Kojima, some more news I didn't write down. But they're saying that, goodness gracious, the hate is real. Oh, man, the hate is so real. Is this true? I read that there is a petition going on to make it so Kojima's game, and this is still rumors, nothing has been confirmed. I want to make that be known, that it's just a rumor that Kojima will be working with Xbox on a new exclusive game, and it's already a petition up and running talking about that they don't want this to happen. Are you serious? Man, I tell you, good grief, the console war ain't never going down. I got such a kick out of this because one side will say, oh man, it's not fair. You guys always you never want to see us have anything. And the other side, well, y'all don't want to see us have anything. Man, both sides are dirty. Everybody's hands are dirty. PlayStation fans getting upset, saying Kojima's working with the ops. Oh, man, this is absolutely insane, but I love it. Oh, man, it's great entertainment. It's fantastic. We'll have to see now. That would be something. If Kojima ended up working with Microsoft on his next game and it was exclusive, man, what's it going to be? Trust me. I don't know if Kojima's the same director that he was years ago. Oh, man, I don't think he got it. I don't think he has it, man. I'm hoping that if he does work on a new game with Microsoft, that he's able to come out the trenches and come out clean. But, man, lately, Kojima, he's still one of the GOATs. I ain't going to take that from him. But lately, oh, man, this brother's track record has been rough. He has not really been on his A game like he used to be. So if this is real, we'll find out later on down the line. Maybe it's once again, it's rumors right now, so nothing is confirmed. Maybe it's just hearsay, she say, and it's nothing. But we will find out eventually. Let's go ahead and let's get back into some EA Play news, because BioWare sent out a tweet that is pretty revealing about the expectations that we should have coming into the show. So BioWare said, and I quote, "We're hard at work creating the next at Dragon Age and at Mass Effect games and have some exciting stuff coming to at SWTOR." I think that's Star Wars. I think that's the online game. But they said this year, while we won't be showing anything at EA Play Live, be sure to check out our SWTOR live stream at 12 p.m. Pacific time today for info on what's to come. End of quote. Matter of fact, I think they just added once again, my memory. They added some extra DLC to the online game. I think you can go up about 5 extra levels higher than what you are right now. It was basically just some DLC for the game. But fast forward and past that, that's on PC, so that has nothing to do with me. If you're into it, definitely check it out. SWTOR, the DLC and the extra levels. But what I took out of this is still good news. For those that are into Dragon Age, I've never been into Dragon Age. It's not really my type of game, but I know that it has a big following. That's great to know that game is still being worked on, as well as Mass Effect. A brand new Mass Effect. I just belched, pardon me. But a brand new Mass Effect is in production. That's awesome, man. Because I'm going to tell you, I thought Mass Effect, man, they had one foot in the doggone grave after Mass Effect, the latest one that came out, Andromeda. It came out, man, it didn't come out to great reviews. It had rough problems. It was rough around the edges. I still didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. But people that were big fans of the franchise, of the series, they said it was a backstep. Didn't do as great. I mean, I can see that, but it still wasn't as bad as I thought people made it out to be. But just the fact that EA did not dead Mass Effect for good, that they are working on it. Well, I have to say allegedly, I gotta believe them. Hopefully they're working on it. That's just great news that a new Mass Effect is coming. Now, however long it takes for it to come, we don't know. But the fact of the matter is that it is in at least production. And hopefully sometime during this generation, we will get our hands on it. We'll be able to play it. We'll be able to see it and enjoy it. But, just know that these two games will not be shown. But hopefully, again, if Dead Space Remake is shown, that's a big W. That's a big win, in my book, because that'll be a new game for me to enjoy since I didn't get a chance to play it during the 360 PS3 era. Let's go ahead and let's move into the next story. So, we have some new news about the Elder Scrolls 6 from the man himself, who is also working on Starfield, Todd Howard, who had an interview with The Telegraph, who said, and I quote, "It's good to think of the Elder Scrolls 6 as still being in a design phase, but we're checking the tech is, hold on, he said, we're checking the tech. Is this going to handle the things we want to do in the game?" Pardon me for butchering that. But he says, every game will have some new suites of technology. So Elder Scrolls 6 will have some additions to Creation Engine 2 that the game is going to require. I think I wrote that wrong. I put two that's back to back. But yeah, he was saying the Creation Engine 2 that the game is going to require. End of quote. So early, good grief, design phase. Woo-wee. That says to me, now, I'm not a developer. I've had the privilege of talking to several developers. Maybe I should have reached out to one or two of them to ask them what this actually means. But the design phase, man, that just sounds like it's very early days for this game. I mean, it's no pre-production in there. They said the design phase. So this means that they're probably still getting the game together. The thing that really kind of has me scratching my head about this, and once again, I don't know what the timeline is in the design phase. I don't know if you're in the middle of, or if you're coming close to full production, or if this is before pre-production. I don't know. But the thing is that Todd Howard, I believe he announced the Elder Scrolls 6 at least two, I don't want to put too much time on it, but at least 2, maybe 3 years ago. So I would have figured that, golly, if he went out there on a limb and said that maybe it would be further in production. But again, I don't know what the design phase is. So maybe it's closer than we think, but I've heard some people joking around saying this game ain't coming out to 2026 at the earliest. So, oh man, we'll have to see. I mean, look, Starfield will be out next year, and if 2026 is a oh man, if that is the I guess the map that it's going to be following, that will be, good grief, 4 years later. Hey man, I could kind of see that, actually. I could see that possibly happening. If you're already working on Starfield, you're trying to bring that home. That's supposed to be another huge possible open world, game going through space. There's no telling how big the game is going to be. I'm sure you got most of your resources on that, and then you got a small team that's starting to build out what will become Elder Scrolls 6. So 2026 might be a very, very possible date, but I guess only time will tell. Good grief. But this Creation Engine 2, though, man, this thing, once again, going back to Starfield, looking at those graphics, I know it wasn't in gameplay footage, but they said that it wasn't cinematic, that is the engine that the game is running in. Man, man, good grief, this engine is going to be beastly. I mean, of course, we gotta see, what it really looks like and what it comes out to be. But man, if that's any indication of what they're working with as far as power, yeah, that thing is looking pretty impressive. Let's go ahead though, and let's move into the next story. So, Nintendo, actually I got this story from NME, pardon me, but Nintendo hints at the possibility that more mini consoles could be on the way after a new Q&A meeting for shareholders that was held on June 29th, where Nintendo president Shuntaro Fukawa, man, I always get his name wrong, but he said, quote, We believe that there is now a very wide range of generations who have adopted Nintendo consoles. We will continue to examine the possibility of offering classic content such as with the NES and Super NES Classic miniseries, as well as our online services as a way of communicating the appeal of our products to different generations. End of quote. So here we see that they are not against making some more of these minis. Now, of course, they've already made two of their biggest ones ever, the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. I mean, what's left? I mean, you got GameCube, you got Wii, you got the Wii U. I think it's a little too early for the Wii U. The Wii, it had a few games on it, but GameCube and N64, I think they would make some, I think that would be pretty good. The GameCube was slept on. I mean, all I remember from GameCube was Resident Evil 4 and God dog it. And I'm hoping it makes a comeback. Capcom, please do something with this dormant franchise. Beautiful Joe. Beautiful Joe was so awesome, man. It was just so amazing. That game was so much fun. That would be awesome. I mean, you put those two on the GameCube. I mean, Resident Evil 4 has been done to death, though, at this point. I don't know what they would do. Now, if you're talking about, because they also said that they may put something online, you know, on their online services, if they offered some GameCube games, some N64 games, just making it a digital, just a digital, not even a storefront, but just something that's included with their online service, having a GameCube section of games, having an N64 section, having a Wii U section, a Wii section, that would, now that right there, man, are they busting off fireworks right now? What's that gunshots? I don't know. I'm going to say that was 5. Hey, man, I'm in Baltimore, man. What y'all expect, man? Good grief. They've been busting off fireworks all night. Anyway, but I'm getting back to the point. It would be very, very interesting to see if they would do it that way, you know, because as it stands right now, the Xbox Game Pass is gaining momentum. They are putting some big hitters in there. I mean, this month is going to be big. The Ascent and Flight Simulator in there in the same month. And then you got Halo on the way. You got Forza on the way. Man, it's looking like a movie right now inside of Game Pass. But if Nintendo wants to compete on that level, it would be amazing if they had just the different categories. You know, like I said, N64, all of their older consoles really putting a lot of their games onto the online service. That would be big for them. So we'll have to see whether they do it digitally or they do it physically. Either way, I'm up for another mini, whatever. It could be GameCube. I already have the Nintendo Mini. I got the Super Nintendo Mini. I even was able to get what was the Mario, what was it? The 30th anniversary, the handheld. I even was able to get that. I plan on getting the Zelda handheld as well. So that's a market I'm definitely into, man. So whatever they release, I would be happy to get. But we'll see how they play it in the long run. But let's go ahead and let's move into some more Sony news. So let's quickly talk about Sony's PSVR 2, because according to a Bloomberg report from people who didn't want to be named in the article, Sony is aiming to release the next VR headset during holiday season 2022. And the PSVR will be outfitted with OLED panels, which will be provided by Samsung Display Co. Now, this right here, and I can hear Mike J. I can hear Glovebox Gaming. I can hear Vaughn saying, "Why are you even reporting on this? You haven't even opened up the first one." I know, brothers. I know. Trust me. I know, man. I'm terrible. I know, brothers. But this is the thing, man. This really, really excites me because here it is, man. That's got to be fireworks. Good grief. But the thing about this is the technology that's gonna be in this. I'm so excited, man. 2022, holiday 2022. This story from Bloomberg, it came out because they were talking about the manufacturer. It was one manufacturer, I can't remember the name of them, but they weren't able to produce as many OLED screens or panels as Samsung, so they were losing money, and it looks like Samsung is actually overtaking their market. So that's why this was all announced. Well, it wasn't announced. I want to let that be known. Sony did not announce this, but because of the reports, it's aiming and it's looking like they would be releasing this in 2022 of holiday season. And this also makes sense because Jim Ryan, he said that he was not going to release this during the first year of the PlayStation 5's life cycle. So it would make sense that they would let 2020 go through, 2021 go through, and then pretty much the full calendar of 2022. That way they would be able to remedy, at least possibly remedy the situation that, the PlayStation 5 shortages are going through. And man, listen, man, I still have not gotten a PS5. Good gosh, it's been hard times in the Mitchell household. Not financially, but hard times on finding a PS5. It's been really hard. But I digress. But we will see what happens with this in the future. I'm very excited about this. That controller looks amazing. Oh, it looks so good. It looks really good, man. I mean, just the possibilities of this thing, having a better display, for the games, the movement. What is it called, y'all? The motion sensor being on the actual helmet itself or the visor of the PSVR 2. Oh man, I can't wait. Good grief. Hopefully, what would be awesome? What would be great? Did I say that right? I don't even know. But it would be just really, really cool to see maybe during this show, this coming up for PlayStation, it would be nice if they showed off this VR headset. We'll see though. Nobody knows. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's move on from there. Hopefully 2022 holiday season. We'll see. But let's get into the next story. And I gotta shout out Mike J for this next story that came way of Polygon. So the article talked about how Microsoft plans to, quote, add cloud gaming directly into the Xbox app on PC and integrate it into our console experience to light up scenarios like try before you download. End of quote. But in the article, it suggested this could go deeper than that when it was said that you would be able to stream Flight Simulator on the Xbox One. And Microsoft said it will use Xbox Cloud Gaming to, quote, bring many upcoming next-gen games, end of quote, to Xbox One, quote, just like we do with mobile devices, tablets, and browsers, end of quote. So essentially, this sounds like if you can't afford a Series X or S, or might not be able to afford one for, man, I wrote that all wrong. Listen, if you can't afford a Series X or S for $15 a month with Game Pass Ultimate, you could be playing the new Fable or Starfield on your Xbox One console. Now, this is the thing. Phil Spencer did say that streaming, and I was glad he said this. This was in the IGN interview with Phil Spencer. It was last week. He had said that streaming isn't the best or the best premium experience, but you can at least try next gen out for a very low cost. Now he didn't say all of that. He just said that it's not the best premium experience. It's not the best way to experience Xbox games. Streaming it is always best to have the console, have the disc on the console, or have the game downloaded to that specific console. But streaming is just a bit of a stopgap. So the thing is, this is actually kind of genius. I have to say genius. Because here it is, if you can't find a Series X or S, or you can't afford to buy one, you will still be able to play these next generation, these brand new games that are coming specifically again to the Series X or S on your Xbox One console for $15 a month. I mean, it's like they have taken, listen, I have had question marks all over the place for what the world Microsoft is doing. What is Phil Spencer doing over at the Xbox brand? But I have to say, this move right here, this is actually a pretty good move. It's like they said, you don't even have to really download it. You're not downloading it. You're streaming it. Stream before you download. That's a new tagline right there. God, dog. I mean, this could be big. This could be something. People that are on Xbox One hardware, now granted, I mean, golly, we got to be realistic here, though. Eventually, they are going to have to cut this at some point. I mean, that hardware is already going on 10 years old. I mean, it came out 2013. We in 2021 right now. So it's only so long that I think they can hold on to this. But the fact that they are trying to hold the line for Xbox One consoles with the streaming aspect of it, hey, man, long as it doesn't hold back gaming. And I'm taking it that streaming, I don't think that would, but you never, ever know for sure. As long as it's not holding back gaming, I think it's a really good idea. It's a good supplement. You know, it makes business sense. I could care less about the money. Like I say, the only reason why I care about any of these guys' money, these businesses, these multi-billion-dollar businesses, is that I want them to stay in business so I can continue to get entertainment from them. That is the only reason. I'm not invested. Well, yeah, I guess I am invested. Shoot, I buy your product. Yeah, I want to make sure you're going to be around for a while. That's the only reason why I care. So with that being said, them making money means they can make more games, which means more entertainment for me, more entertainment for us. So it makes sense from the business standpoint, but I do think eventually they are going to have to cut this off. But at the moment, it sounds pretty doggone good, and it's a good supplement for next generation if you're just not in a position to experience next generation like myself. I'm in that boat right now. I have money ready to go and I can't even spend it because I can't find them. So I'm in that boat too. But we'll see what happens. I know they said that the Game Pass is up on, what is it, the Apple Store or on the iOS tablets or whatever may have you. They made some breakthrough earlier this week or last week with that. So yeah, they're over on Apple now. So that's great. That's great news. But for the sake of time, we're gonna go ahead and move into the next story. So I got this from IGN. But in acquisition news, Sony has acquired Returnal developer HouseMarque. Now, here's what PlayStation Studio boss Herman Hulse had to say about it. He said, and I quote, "HouseMarque's recent release of Returnal proves the studio is one with incredible vision, capable of creating memorable new games that resonate with our community. This addition enhances the creative force of PlayStation Studios, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for HouseMarque. End of quote. And on a side note to this story, they purchased the studio for a undisclosed fee. Now, what's interesting about this too is earlier today, I was reading a bit of a follow-up story to this, and they said that several other companies were vying to get HouseMarque, and this could have possibly sped up not Microsoft, but Sony and them acquiring them, because there were other companies that had deals on the table. Some of the companies that were brought up were EA. EA was bought up. Now, once again, when HouseMarque was interviewed, they didn't drop any names. They did say that there were several deals on the table, but they never dropped who were in the race, to get them. But names like EA were brought up, Tencent was brought up, and of course, because they talked about two U.S. companies, and that's how they came up with EA, and Microsoft could have possibly been in the race for them as well. So it looks like, Sony said, look, we've been working together for a long time. I think we need to make this official. Let me go ahead and ring you up real quick, and you just join the family, because we can't have somebody else picking y'all up. So it was a good move on Sony's part. And I know that earlier, this is something else I didn't write again, but Herman Hulse, he came out and said that they're not in the arms race with Microsoft, and they cultivate these these relationships with these devs, and they're not copying Microsoft, all of this other stuff. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I said, man, I don't believe that. I believe that if Microsoft was sitting still, not going on I ain't gonna say a I don't know, maybe a bit of a frenzy. You spend $7.5 billion. That's a bit of a spending frenzy, if you ask me. On a publisher, as well as several other development teams that they have bought over the years. I have to believe that was some incentive for Herman Hulse, for Sony, for Jim Ryan to say, you know what, maybe we need to, get a couple more teams up under our belt just to make sure that we can keep up with what Microsoft is doing. Because Microsoft, good grief, granted, we're finally about to start seeing some of the fruits of the labor this month. But, man, they haven't been very loud with what they've acquired. But man, between the end of the middle to the end of this year and next year, good gosh, games are coming, and they are coming in an abundance. Finally, it's like the floodgates are about to open. We can see, finally, after years of being in a gaming drought, what Microsoft has been working on. And I know Sony has to look at that and say, good grief, we're going to have to find some kind of way to keep up, because this is a lot of stuff they have, and they have it in Game Pass. Of all things, it's in Game Pass for $10 to $15 a month. We got to figure out a strategy. And what's the best strategy? Get some more teams up under your belt to be able to combat all of these games that will be coming down the line very soon. I just saw, oh my goodness, what was the name of the game? I bought it up a couple of weeks ago. I wish I had seen it, but let me see if I can find it real quick. Because they said that they had brought up, hold on. It's the first person, it's not even a shooter. It's, hold on, what's it called? Now I can't find it. Man, hold on. I'm going to find it here on air. I ain't going to give up. Hold on. Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. Bright Memory Infinite. That's a game they didn't even talk about. And it's still coming, because they showed some new footage of the game off about two weeks ago. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell y'all where I found it at. Matter of fact, I got to shout out AB. He sent it to me. It was over here on Game Rant. Game Rant showed off a new gameplay trailer, and God, dog, that game still looks just as good as it did almost 2 years ago. Well, that was last year, a year ago, when they showed it off for the first time. They didn't talk about that. They didn't talk about the gunk. They didn't talk about Fable 4. They didn't talk about Senua's Sacrifice. I mean, maybe in the second show they mentioned it, and talked about it a little bit. But my point is, they just got games coming. I mean, they didn't bring up Perfect Dark. They had a show without mentioning pretty much all of the games they talked about last year. So that just says to me that they just got stuff coming. They're in a great spot. And Sony, they can't just sit back idly and just say, man, we're the greatest to ever do it. We're going to continue to be great. They got to be proactive. So I think it was a good pickup for them. HouseMarque has been in their, in their stable on their team. Well, maybe not in their stable, but playing for their team for quite some time. I don't remember any of their games. Maybe one game might have came to Xbox years ago, but for the most part, their games have been exclusive on PlayStation, just like Insomniac for the most part. I think, 2 games might have came to other consoles. Sunset Overdrive and the other game that they did that didn't do too well, but outside of those 2, I can only remember them pretty much working with Sony, working with PlayStation. So it was a similar situation, and it was a great pickup for them. I think it was a fantastic pickup for them, and I think they're going to do well off of that. And I can't wait to see what their next game is. Returnal, would I pick that up, man? I don't know. It looks good, but I don't know if I'm really into those type of games, man. I just don't know. I don't think I have the skill set. I just don't know, man, if I feel like going through it. But we'll see. Now, with that being said, another thing that was mentioned, and I didn't write this down. I mean, it was just so much news, man. I'm over 2 weeks, in the hole with the news. So it's so much that came out, man. I just couldn't remember to write everything. But as I'm talking to y'all, certain things are just kind of, coming back to my mind. But it was also that rumor that they're also going to be picking up Blue Point. Blue Point as well. Oh, that's been a rumored joint for quite some time. That them and Blue Point, they were going to be picking them up. They are awesome at what they do. I don't think anybody can take away what they do and that they're not top tier at it. And the fact that they've been strictly working with PlayStation for quite a few years now, it only makes sense. Now, my question would be, would they allow Blue Point to go out and make their own original IP, or would they continue to just have them be the remaster studio? Which I can't lie, man. Now, whoa-wee. That's an angle right there. That is one heck of an angle that PlayStation could have if they picked those guys up over at Blue Point and they just told them, we want y'all to remake our older catalog like Siphon Filter. Who wouldn't want to see a Siphon Filter game remade with today's technology and graphics? That would be incredible. I mean, a brand new a Jack and Daxter remastered. Woo! It could be something. That could be one heck of an angle, and that way they could even take a few more chances on possibly bringing back older dormant franchises. Tell Blue Point, hey, look, pick one of our older games from our older catalog, see what you guys can do with it, and try to get a buzz about that older dormant franchise. And if it does well, then we'll do a full brand new sequel, or what do you call it? Kind of like starting it all over again, starting from scratch. I mean, it could be a great play, that they could do with Blue Point. So I hope that it's true. I really hope it is. Whether it is or not, it's still pretty interesting and exciting to know well, not to know, but to sit back and see if that will become a reality. So we'll have to see, man. Only time will tell. I mean, how cool would it be that on their stage, well, their virtual stage, as it were, at their latest show that they're supposed to be having, their E3-esque show, even though it's way after E3, they make the announcement that Blue Point Games is now been acquired and they're with us. Welcome to the family. I mean, that could be a big announcement at their PlayStation experience. So we're going to have to see, man. We're going to have to wait and see and, see what happens in the coming weeks. But let's go ahead and let's move on into the next story. So I got this one from Tech Radar, and boy, oh boy, is it a doozy. Because let's talk about the elusive Grand Theft Auto 6, because according to an alleged insider and YouTuber, Tom Henderson, he claimed that GTA 6 would be set in a modern day recreation of Vice City, and that the map will evolve and change over time, similar to Fortnite when the maps change for new seasons. Now that's all fine and good. I love it. Taking a trip back to Vice City, that would be awesome. It's great. But this is the kicker. The kicker is Tom claims the game won't release until 2025. So for me, I thought that's probably not accurate at all. That's a long time. But now, Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier, he's come out and said on Twitter, and I quote, and oh man, he says, everything Tom Henderson has said about the game matches up with what I've heard. It's still in early development, end of quote. It has an evolving, expanding map, which is, which he said that he had also reported last year. How, man, can you imagine? Good grief. Listen, man, Grand Theft Auto 5, it came out in 2013. 2013. And you mean to tell me that the next GTA isn't going to come out until allegedly 2025? Man, you're talking about, what's that, 13, 20? That's 12 years. 12 years? Man, you got to be kidding me. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I know and understand that in between that time, they have brought out Red Dead Redemption 2. Phenomenal game. One of the best games of last generation. I mean, I had never done so many side quests in a game. It was just that good. Not taking anything away from it, but golly, 12 years. I mean, what are you guys going to be working on? I mean, you got to have something coming out. Has Rockstar, oh man, I'm not going to say they've gotten lazy, but have they gotten complacent with what they do? It has never been this long. I mean, 12 years. Good grief. I think Red Dead Redemption 2, from its original to its sequel, well, I guess it was a prequel, that might have took, matter of fact, I'm going to look this up in real time, dog. Hold on, man. Hold on. I'm looking this up because I ain't been with y'all in quite some time, man. We gonna spend some time together. Let me see. All right, here we go. I'm trying to bring Google up. All right. What year did Red Dead Redemption release?
Red Dead Redemption's initial release date is May 18th, 2010.
Good grief. Okay, so 2010. Now, man, when did Red Dead Redemption 2 come out? In 2000, I believe, 18, right? Let me make sure. What year did Red Dead Redemption 2 release?
Red Dead Redemption 2's initial release date is October 26, 2018.
Yeah, okay, so now that's understandable. 8 years. Okay. 8 years. That is not bad. That's not horrible, because in between that time, I mean, they had Max Payne 3 and, Grand Theft Auto 5 come out in between that time. But, this is going to be 12 years, which means, good grief, think about this. We're going to be about midway into this generation allegedly, by the time GTA 6 comes out. I'm just trying to figure out what is happening over at Rockstar. I heard that Dan Houser, one of the founders of Rockstar, he went off and he's starting his own studio, his own game studio. Allegedly, had to see what happens with that. But good grief, I understand there's probably been some changes, in leadership. But good grief, is this acceptable? Is it? We know what Rockstar does. They're magicians. They're absolutely phenomenal at what they do. But a 12-year hiatus, that just seems like a real long time for a franchise, especially when it is a super successful franchise. They've sold over 110 million copies of GTA 5, so they know it's not a gamble. I understand now thinking about it. Yeah, GTA 5, the remaster of the remaster is coming out sometime in November. But good gosh, we have played that to the cows come home. Good grief, I would think that it would be something else that would be on the table. But I feel like I've been very, very long-winded with this story. We're just going to have to wait and see again to see if this is true or not. And let me tell y'all something, man. That doggone Take-Two Interactive E3 show had to be the biggest troll move I had ever seen during E3. What the heck was that? What was that? It was a conference. It wasn't even a game conference. These jokers were on Skype or on TeamSpeak or whatever. I sat there, man. I got catfished. I sure did. I thought we were gonna see something. These jokers just kept talking and talking and talking and talking. And I understand that some of the subject at hand, I get it. I'm all for it, man. It was a good subject, but not at E3. We just want to see the games. That was the biggest Congratulations, Take-Two. You got all of us. They hadn't showed up at E3 since 1942, and they finally decided to show up, and they just had a doggone face-to-face conference with other people. Y'all could have kept that at home. I was so upset and just above myself when I saw that. I said, what is this? Who co-signed this? Who said, you know what? This is going to be remarkable. This is going to be a breakthrough. Yes, this is exactly what we need. Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, we can wrap this up, man. Let's just jump into the final story of the week. So, in quick Mortal Kombat 11 news, because, man, I was just done after that one. But in quick Mortal Kombat 11 news, I got this story from Metro Entertainment. But Mortal Kombat 11 and NetherRealm news, the official Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Twitter account has tweeted, and I quote, "NetherRealm is now focusing on its next project. And after more than 2 years of supporting Mortal Kombat 11 DLC for the game, including characters, has come to an end." End of quote. So with that being said, what could be the next game for doggone NetherRealm Studios? Are we gonna get the Injustice 3 that people have been looking for? I mean, it's been confirmed, due to job listings, that it's in development along with Mortal Kombat 12. Is that, or could things go totally left and the rumored Marvel versus DLC game could be next? After all, Ed Boon did say in the past he was approached for a Marvel fighting game. Man. Now that would be a crossover. That would, oh my goodness, I'm not even a fighting game fan, but I would love to see that. Marvel versus DC. I mean, now I know that it's too big, totally separate IPs. There's a lot of characters in there, I know. But we have seen in the past that Marvel and DC have worked together in crossovers with comic books. I mean, this could be pretty much the same thing. Oh, man. Yeah, that would be something. That would be something. Iron Man versus Batman. I don't know, man. I mean, good grief. I mean, Flash versus who? Man, not Wolverine. That's not a good matchup. But well, Flash versus Spider-Man. They both quick on their feet. I mean, it could be something. It could, man. I am sweating so hard right now. Good grief, my brow. Let me wipe my brow. I don't know. But hey man, we're gonna see what happens with this. This could be awesome. I mean, but either way, a lot of people would be happy to see Injustice and another Mortal Kombat. But it seems like their schedule is like Mortal Kombat, then Injustice, then Mortal Kombat. That's what it seems like. But good grief, they could shake up the gaming world if Ed Boon was behind a Marvel versus DC fighting game. And from what I hear, see, I can't say that I've played the latest Mortal Kombat, but I only hear great things, especially when it comes to the story. Imagine if they crafted a really good story out of a Marvel versus DC game. It could be amazing. It could be. I mean, I know on paper, a lot of things sound amazing, but this, I don't think anybody would be against this happening. But we shall see in the future. Anyway, that is the end of the gaming news this week. Good grief, brothers and sisters. Oh my goodness. Being away for 2 weeks, oh man, it takes a toll on you. Missing all kinds of gaming news. Man, it just never fails. But in the sake of time, or for the sake of time, oh man, we are an hour and 16 minutes in. Good gosh. Man, look, listen, I was gone for a long time. 2 weeks seems like, I ain't gonna say 2 months, but it seems like about a month when you don't record, man. So it's just great to be back. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I appreciate all of the support that y'all give me. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the final section of the podcast, and that is, of course, the question of the week. And I know you guys saw it when you clicked on the episode, and thank you again so much for that. But we're gonna go over it officially. Now, my question to you guys is Sony bigger than E3? I mean, here it is. E3 is come and gone yet again, and no Sony. And it looks like this is going to be the way that it's going to be in the future. It doesn't look like Sony has any plans of making a comeback to E3. For me personally, I would never say that Sony is bigger than E3. Yes, Sony has made some of the greatest games of last generation, of the previous generation. I mean, Sony has been absolutely incredible at their craft. I don't think anybody is better, at least at the moment. I think Microsoft has a chance to at least be on level footing in the future, but right now, they're not quite there. They're not there. Sony is good grief. They are running the gamut, or the gauntlet, whatever you want to call it. They are the ones to really aim for. But even with that being said, I think they should have been at E3. I understand that it's a different age, it's a different day. Some people don't think E3 is relevant because these companies can go out and do their own thing whenever they want to and own the news cycle. I get that. And I'm an older gamer. I'm 42 years old. I'm an older gamer. So for me, I'm about the tradition of E3. And I know that E3 isn't taking place in a building right now. I mean, everybody's still doing their own individual shows. I just think that for that week, I think us as gamers, we should be able to expect all three to go at it. I mean, it's the biggest week in gaming when it comes to E3. And I know, once again, some people may feel we are in a different time and E3 doesn't have the same relevance that it used to have. But for me, I want you vying for my dollars at every turn. And Nintendo, even Nintendo showed up to E3 this year. Good grief, Nintendo was there. Microsoft was there. I don't know why Sony thinks, well, we ain't got to show up. I mean, good grief, are they taking their fan base for granted? I ain't gonna go that far because they been delivering. They've been delivering the hits. But I still think they should have been at E3. They should have fed their fan base while everybody else was feeding theirs. That being Nintendo and Microsoft. But I could be out of the loop. That's why I'm going to you guys to ask y'all's opinion on this. Is Sony bigger than E3? If you guys want to be a part of the conversation, feel free to do it two different ways. Either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. I was your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and man, it just felt so good to talk to y'all. Good grief. I'm going to tell y'all though, man, I got to be honest. We're not going to be on a regularly scheduled program. I would say until man, I'm going to say September, man, but I'm going to keep on trying to jump on, man. You know, I still got to get to the listener feedback. I just don't want to set expectations that I can't live up to. I don't want to do that. Yeah, we will be back though. I don't want to say on Wednesday we're going to be back, but possibly on Wednesday we will be back at it again. But once again, thank you guys for all of the support. And yeah, just spreading the word about the Analog Circle. I don't take it for granted. This is a smaller podcast, and I appreciate you guys coming out, man. I truly, truly do. Hitting the download button and sending such great messages and being very encouraging. It means a lot. So thank y'all. But with that being said, before we officially wrap it up and put that bow on it, always remember one thing. It is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until possibly Wednesday or Thursday possibly when we do it again, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.